Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there just to let me know that it is indeed working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning so far. Looking forward to trading with you guys today. Appreciate you guys coming. It's obviously right in the middle of getting ready for Christmas time. So appreciate your diligence and coming. We'll definitely provide the value you're looking for in this webinar. I'm looking forward to taking another trade today. That's one of my big goals, obviously, each live trading webinar. So yeah, and we'll update the ones we have open and then just kind of go from there. But before we get started, as always, I need to remind you about the risks involved in this market. As always, uh, you can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So make sure that you're going through that process each and every time that you take a trade. All right, guys. Well, so let's jump into TradingView and let's pull up the charts and we'll kind of get going for today. Let me get this pulled up here. So the trade we took last night was this or yesterday morning was this CAD yen trade. And I actually haven't looked at it recently. So let's see if it's actually triggered. Let's see if it's doing anything here. I haven't looked at this, so maybe you guys know better than I do. I'm going to be surprised here. Watch, we'll find out. Let's see what's it done. Have we triggered yet? Um, this is the CAD yen. Oh, not quite. Oh, that stinks. Okay, so this is the trade we posted in the webinar yesterday. Um, so we were looking for the market to come down and tag into this demand zone right here. And it looks like we got within just like an inch right there. That's just a couple of pips right there. Um, really, really close. It could still trigger potentially. So maybe I'll leave that open. But if I find something better to trade today, I might just cancel this one. But right now, this market's flagging. So you've got the CAD yen is flagging right now. So this is a little bit of a bullish pattern. Anyways, and that's already the direction we wanted to go. But it looks like that's what it's looking to do is flag to the upside. That stinks when that happens. We got really, really, really close to our entry there and just didn't quite tag it in. So did anybody else get tagged in? I didn't. That's really, really, really close. Well, cool. So there's that one. And then you have the NZD yen trade going on. This is the trade we took from yesterday. Or not 2 days ago. This is the Monday trade right here. This one was awesome because we tagged in at almost a perfect moment right there. And then it's actually just kind of continued to the upside. It's got just a little bit more to go to hit the target. I'm still trying to get to that target right there. I'm just trying to go to this supply zone, whatever this is right here, just trying to get the market to go right to that. So, I mean, it's pretty much there, but I think you can still squeeze out a few more pips on that. So you might as well try to squeeze out a little bit more on that NZD yen. That's my game plan. If you want to book half your position, I would definitely do that. I've already gone ahead and booked half my position on the NZD JPY right here. So again, this is the trade from, and so this one is still going. At the moment, this is up from where we started this trade down here to where it is now. This is up 186 pips. So just insane. That's fun. That's awesome to be able to get a trade like that in right before the holidays kick in. That's super awesome. And then, like I said, with the CAD yen, that one has not triggered yet. So we'll leave that open. But what I'd like to do, like I said earlier, is um, what I'd like to do is try to find another trade setup. So um, kind of spend some time on the scanner and on the charts, and however long it takes us to find a setup, we'll go. So if we find one quickly, we'll kind of cut the webinar shorter. If it takes a little while, we'll just go the full time it takes. So, and of course, if you guys have other questions, let me know. We do have a big lineup of classes today. Obviously, we have live trading right now. Um, got some one-on-ones with some of you guys today, which I'm looking forward to. And then tonight, we are doing the sentiment webinar and we are doing the COT report webinar. So um, that's going to leave room for a lot of questions. If you guys have questions about how the COT report works or how we use sentiment in our trading, if you have questions about taking overnight trades and weekly trades, those are great webinars to ask those questions too. So that'll be tonight. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and um, look at the scanner and kind of break this down. So again, when I look at the scanner, I usually like to, here, let me refresh this just to make sure that any sentiment data is updated onto the scanner here. Whenever I look at the scanner, I like to filter, like if I'm looking for a weekly trade or some kind of break of structure for the week, I think the best way to use the scanner, if you're only going to use one column, it would be the overall signals column right here. And just as a reminder for those that don't know, the overall signals column, this one right here, um, yeah, right down this, is probably the most influential column because there's more data that goes into determining whether or not this is a strong buy or strong sell for the week. And so when you use this scanner, there's a lot of stuff that goes into to determine if that's a good trade or not. You've got things like the sentiment index, you've got the long-term COT data, and you've got the weekly shift in COT data. And the combination of those three things creates this cumulative score. And if that score is high enough, it's going to produce a strong sell or a strong buy signal. So we put a little bit more stock into those trades for the week because they are, just everything's lining up for the most part. You may not get every single metric to line up, but you'll get enough where it's like, yeah, that's a good trade to take, right? So I like to kind of go through those. This week, we actually have quite a bit of strong buys and strong sells. I think part of it's because we had some pretty big shifts recently. And also, there are several metrics that do line up. So we've got a sweep with a lot of these currency pairs. Other weeks, you might just get like 4, 5, or 6. Okay. Overall, strong buys or strong sells. Um, but how fun that we get that many trades to look at. So, and there's still other trades you can look at. Like these two are just sell signals. These are all neutrals, so I probably wouldn't put a lot of focus in those ones. And then you've got some buy opportunities down here. Not as strong, but those are still worth at least looking at. But we'll focus on these ones, obviously. Okay, so let's start from the top. Now, just another thing too, I had somebody ask me a question on this. When you filter the overall signals column, it doesn't necessarily put the very best trade at the top. And I am trying to figure out a way to do this. Um, if I can rank these, because this actually is alphabetized. So that's just the way it's defaulted. So I'm trying to figure out a way to program this so it's more of a like your very best, like my top pick of the week would just be at the very top, right? So if it says Euro Aussie, then it's like, oh, that means Steve's wanting to sell Euro Aussie. That must be the best trade to take, right? Um, so the only thing that you have to filter how strong the signal is just by the sheer fact that it's a strong buy or strong sell. So I don't know which one of these, dozen or so trades is the best one to take. Um, However, my one guidance to you as of right now, unless we change how we do this in the future, my one guidance to you to figure out which one's stronger is to look at each one individually and go across the row and check to see how many things align with that signal. So for example, with this one, it is a strong sell, but we really don't have a weekly shift signal. It's just neutral. We do have a long-term strong sell, but the sentiment's also neutral. So with something like that, um, that's still a really great trade to take because it's in crowded market phase. That's why it's got a strong sell for the long term. But it doesn't have multiple confirmations. So that's, it's up to you if you want to kind of go across and do that. When you look at the pound dollar, this one's nice because you do have a sell for a weekly shift. The long-term signal is to sell, but we don't have sentiment. And even then, the long-term signal is just sell. It's not like a strong sell or a strong buy. It's just sell. So something to think about. So as I go along here, let's try to find one where everything lines up. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good one right here. So here's the Aussie yen, because on the weekly shift, you have a strong buy, really good shift right there, over 10%. And then the sentiment's a strong buy. We just don't have a long-term signal on the Aussie yen. So I'd say that one's better because at least you have two metrics both saying strong buy. That's a good. And then the third one is just no bias. It's just neutral. Then you have, let's see, you move on. That one's the same as the Euro Aussie. It's just the long-term signal. That's it. Here is good with the CAD franc, but they're not strong necessarily. They're just buys right here. The long-term signal is still neutral. Let's see if we can find one. Frank yen's good. This is good. Not a bad one.
Hey traders, it's Steve from the future. I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. If you are getting value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and share your trading thoughts. I read all the comments, so feel free to ask any questions you have there too. On a side note, I host live trading calls like this one you are watching every day. Some of my biggest trading secrets I share exclusively to just the members in my program. I host these live trading calls every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I also host a basic training webinar every Monday for the newer traders and the regular COT report and sentiment trading webinars every Wednesday night at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern for the advanced and aspiring traders. All of these calls are recorded and promptly posted on the members' trading calendars at the conclusion of each call in case your schedule does not permit you to come to the live call. All of my members have complete access to the scanner. We call it Steve Scanner. This is an institutional grade trade alert scanner that picks the direction of the week on all 28 major currency pairs and includes trading instruments like gold, silver, NAS 100, US 30. Just in the last 90 days, I have made over 3,000 pips just taking the top trade signals from the scanner at the beginning of the week and then just holding those trade alerts until Friday. If you want access to the scanner, you can start a 14-day free trial with the join link in the description to get started. Lastly, if you really want to be a full-fledged VIP member of my program to get access to things like the basic training course, live signals channel, Steve Scanner, trading calendars, and the one-on-one calls with me throughout the month, you can use code Friend of Steve, that's Friend of Steve, no spaces, at checkout and save $50 on your first month. Again, just click the link in the description below and apply that coupon to become a VIP member, and I look forward to helping you with your inevitable trading success going forward. Now, back to the video.
Okay, this is good right here. So this is probably one of your best trades right here. So on this NZD JPY, look at this. That's a sweep. That's a true sweep right there. This is a great example. So let's focus on this. So you've got strong buy overall. Weekly shift is a buy. It's actually pretty close to strong buy, but it's just a buy. Okay. Long-term signal is a buy. Sentiment's a strong buy. That's a sweep right there. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. Now it's harder to get that because a lot of stuff has to line up. But if you can get a sweep, that's going to be really, really good. And as you guys know, That's exactly what the NZD yen's been doing. It just continues to rally out. And over the last 24 hours, it's kind of built this little pennant pattern slash consolidation. And there's no surprise that we're breaking to the upside out of that, right? Because you've got everything here giving you this sweep. So this is really good. What this is basically saying is you have the weekly shift in commercial cot data, which is the biggest market in, or the biggest participant in the cot report. And they had a big enough move to create a buy signal, almost a strong buy signal, okay, for the week. Then you had the long-term signal indicate that the banks, from a non-commercial standpoint, the large specs from the cot data, indicate that they are indeed buying the NZD JPY. And then lastly, you've got sentiment indicating that this is indeed the direction to go. That is indeed the direction that most retail traders are going the opposite way of that. And so we should go against the retail trader. So, you know, I would say that's the best trade of the week right there. Um, just by the sheer fact that you've got a full sweep. And notice how when you filter this, that was actually the last one that came up on here. It's because it's alphabetized, right? So it just says, okay, this is the last strong buy from these currency pairs, and it happens to be the NZD JPY, which is towards the end of the alphabet. So it's not that that's the worst strong buy to take. Again, I'm trying to figure out a way to filter these a little bit better. So I think the way you should look at this is just say, okay, I'm going to filter by overall signal. Let's just get the strong buys and sells to float to the top here. And then your job is to kind of analyze each one in a simplified way. Try to find the ones with the most confirmation if you can. Um, or you could just take all of them. Like there's nothing wrong with just taking the full basket of strong buys to strong sells. I do that. Nothing wrong with that. Great way to trade. I'd say so. Um, not every single trade you pull from the strong buy or strong sell is going to work out, but I'd say if you do this, there's a good chance you'll get several winners out of this. But if you wanted to take it a step further, I would just try to do what we just did. Try to get the full sweep if you can. If you can't get a full sweep, try to at least get two things to line up. Like right here, the pound yen. Got a buy there, neutral signal here. Not a huge deal, right? Better for overnight trades or weekly trades? That's a good question, Lee. So I take these weekly trades, and I mentioned this in the Telegram message I sent over the weekend. Um, I take these as weekly trades. So I literally do just go in and just at the beginning of the week and just take every single trade at the beginning of the week. And then I use an average daily range stop loss. Um, just like you would do with the COT report. And if you think about it, a lot of these are COT report trades, right? This would, for example, this Aussie yen buy, that's a huge shift. So that would totally be a shift trade for sure. Um, Another one that would be a shift trade is this CAD yen buy, right? Really good shift there. Can they be used as overnight trades too? Yeah, you can definitely take overnight trades with this. Absolutely. Um, I just wouldn't expect results every single day. So that's my only qualm with using the scanner for overnight trades is it can be done as long as you understand what you're trying to expect from it, right? So if you're um there will be plenty of days where during the week where some of these trades don't go in the direction of their signals. Okay. So I feel like the scanner's best use is picking, your absolute best swing trades, right? I put a lot of confidence in knowing like, hey, if these are the signals I have at the beginning of the week, there's a pretty good chance those will probably remain the same signals by the end of the week. And there's a good chance that the market will probably go in the direction of these overall signals again by the end of the week. So I put a lot more stock in that. But if you want to use it as an overnight signal, you can. But I feel like the way to make that work is, and we'll talk about this tonight in some of those webinars tonight, but I feel like the way to make it work if you want to do an overnight trade is you have to um, kind of scale up into a position. So like, you know how we talked about if one trade doesn't work one night, the next night you take two trades. If the next night doesn't work, you take three or four trades until you finally get a good win, you know, a solid night where everything just kind of goes in your favor. And that makes up for the losers. So you can do that. It's a type of martingale. So that's something to be aware of if you do something like that. But that seems to be one of the only ways to get an overnight strategy to work is because there's so many variables that could pop up on a day-to-day basis that in order to smooth out your gains, you have to kind of play with your lot size or play with the number of trades you're taking if you're going to do an overnight trade. Versus if you're going to do a weekly trade, you don't really need to do a lot of that kind of shenanigan. You can actually just kind of get away with it by just generically taking the same lots, the same risk per trade week in and week out. You can get away with that and still make a profit. Yeah. So that's my answer to that. And we'll talk more about that tonight. Okay, guys. So I think that's hopefully that helps some of you guys who have questions about the scanner. Again, filter by overall signal, then try to find a sweep. If you're trying to find the very best trades to take. At the same time, though, plenty of these trades that don't have a sweep are going to work out just great. So, um, yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and kind of look at some of these pairs. I do want to go and look for those. I want to try to find a price action setup. Here's the Euro Aussie. What was the signal on this? This is a strong sell for the week. And let's pull up the weekend indicator. Yeah, so this has gone down from the beginning of the week as expected. Um, okay, cool. So I actually see an area I like already on this one. So the Euro Aussie, again, this is in crowded market phase. And by the way, why is it in crowded market phase? So when you look at this, whenever it says strong sell or strong buy from the long-term column, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's absolutely in crowded market phase, stage, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and we'll talk about what that means if you want to come to the COT report webinars, but essentially it just means that the banks have a really big position going the other way. So the banks actually have a really big long position on the Euro Aussie right now, and they are trying to take profits. Okay. And as they take profits, that actually sends the currency pair lower because if you close a long position, you have to sell. Okay. That's why the signal's a strong sell. So we know we're in crowded market phase. We know the banks are trying to sell this off. Um, um, we know the banks are trying to sell this off right now. Um, and that's huge because now we know anytime this thing goes up, it should come down. And that's literally what's happened. Came up right here on Monday, and then boom, whack-a-mole, right? Came up here last week, whack-a-mole, right? Just every single time this thing pops up, what do the banks do? Just send it right back down. Yep, they're playing with it. That's what they're doing because they have to get out. By the way, guys, appreciate you guys coming and listening to my voice. I apologize. I'm doing my best. I just got hit with a sickness again over the weekend, and and now I'm just recovering. Obviously, I'm good enough to host the webinars. Obviously, I can't spread this to you guys, and I think I'm past that phase anyway. But um, trying to get my voice back, so apologize. Um, and I'll try my best here. Anyway, so I just letting you know. I think I'm past it now. So now I'm just trying to get on the other side of recovering now that we've killed whatever's inside me. So all right, guys. So So anyway, that's what's going on with Euro Aussies. We've got this banks trying to close out. So anytime this thing goes up, there's a good chance the supply zone is going to work. You can see that happen multiple times in the past. Like right here, this market came up to this little supply zone, boom, went right down. Right here, this market came up to whatever this zone is right here, boom, came down. Right. So that's what I want to do now with you guys. This might be a good trade for us to take. We have a little bit of an obvious zone right here. So we've got a pretty good zone right here. Okay. Why is that a good zone? Does anybody want to take a crack at it? Like why is that a good area of supply? And I just took one good look at it and I can tell you that that's supply right there. Why is that supply? And I'm going to show you guys why, unless you guys are typing. I'll let you guys also type it out. But so here's the trick, guys. Here's how you can find supply or demand. Here is the secret. Follow the market backwards after a break of structure or a major move to the downside. So with this one, it's more of a break of structure, right? Major structure point, right? This was definitely support. Definitely a support zone for sure, right? Absolutely. And then that clearly broke. Absolutely, this thing broke apart. Okay, so now what you gotta do is just follow the market backwards. So just follow it backwards from what created the break of structure. And it looks like something in this area, something that happened in here, whatever the banks did here, they put a big enough position in here to ultimately send this market down. So this would be considered supply. Okay. This is the supply area. It's an accumulation of positions just before a break of structure or major move down. And so if the market were to ever come back to that area, there's a good chance it would be met with some resistance and maybe even pull back, right? And the fact that we know that the banks are in crowded market phase and they have to exit their long position, what do you think they're going to do when the market goes up to supply? Exactly what we're going to do. They're going to close, right? So that's the edge. That's the edge. So the edge of our trading system is we know the banks have to close out long positions on the Euro Aussie. As they do that, they're probably going to try to find premium prices where they can release their Euro Aussie position. Okay, so the supply zones are more likely to be successful when you get into crowded market phase or trading a currency pair that is in crowded market phase. See what we're doing there? It's genius, honestly. I think it's genius. Okay, so now if we pull up the order block indicators, oh, yep, there they are. See that? Isn't that pretty cool? Pretty cool, right? So you could literally find this just by pulling up. I mean, you can teach yourself how to find this. I didn't even know that that was there. I mean, I had a feeling it would show up, but yeah, that's supply right there. And we know that that's supply because that's literally what created this break of structure, right? So this will probably be a good trade. We probably will just actually just post this one because it's good enough. I mean, there's probably other trades we could take for sure, but I think this is a good one. Now, where do we target on this? So we know that this is just generally the area of productivity, right? This is the area where if the market came back to it, there's a good chance you'll get a sell off, right? So we'll probably place that trade, but where do you target now? So I've got some order blocks down here, right? Some buy blocks, and it doesn't look like we've tapped into those yet. Yeah, so we got these down here. Yeah, those look good. Let's try a higher time frame. I'm just curious to see what the higher time frame says. 2 hour says they're all the way down here. That's okay. Um, so I'm gonna put a line on this. So there's one target right here, and then if I go back to a 1 hour time frame, there's some. It looks like we can probably. How far do you think I can go? I'm gonna put a line on this first one. Let's see what kind of RR ratio we get by going to that one right there. Okay, so now let's zoom back into the market. Let's zoom back in. and let's get a trade set up because this is actually a pretty good one. This is exactly what you want to find. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty darn good. Okay, so we've got a short, something like this would be a good place to start shorting. Put a stop right there at the end of those order blocks. Something like this would probably be pretty good. Then you'd ride this down to at least here, and that gives you a 1 to 2.5. If you can get that down to here, that's a 1 to 6, almost a 1 to 6. If we can get it down to this one, that's a 1 to 3. That would be ideal, I think. Well, no, ideal would be to get it down to 1 to 6, 1 to 7, right? Question is if we can go that far. It's possible. I mean, it's totally possible. I think this is a solid enough supply zone that I mean, we've got 3 order blocks on the hourly time frame right there. And what I love about these order blocks is they are associated with a break of structure. So those ones tend to work better. Those order blocks tend to work better than just any order block that just appears on your chart, right? So if you can get an order block that shows up um, behind the wall of a structure break like this, it's better, right? Hopefully that makes sense. But all right, so let's go ahead and place this trade. I like this. You know what? I think I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna leave my target there. If we need to adjust that target later, we will. I think the most important part is just making sure that we have this order in and ready to go, so we can take advantage of this trade opportunity. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and kind of clean up the charts a little bit so we don't need all of this stuff. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna label a few more things for those that are not in the webinar. So this is our BOS right here. We've got a solid amount of demand or supply, not demand, supply in this area. Yeah, right here. And yeah, this is a solid trade. So let's go ahead and take a picture and get this posted. Let's see, I'm in this for long-term martingale. Took profit on 232 pips already, and and other 2 trades are up about 150. Wow, that's awesome. Is that from taking the long-term column, or is that just overall overnight trades, overall signals, and then the subsequent overnight trades? That's awesome. Great work. Nice. Yeah, those long-term trades are solid. Like if you have the patience to hang on to them and use them as a swing trade, it yeah, they're solid. I hate to bet against the long-term signal, and we've even programmed the scanner to not, like, if for example, you'll see, you could probably scroll through there right now. I won't do it right now, but if you wanted to, you can. You'll probably see on the scanner that if there's ever a conflict between a long-term signal and like the weekly shift, it's probably going to give you a neutral, because I really hate to bet against the long-term signal, because the biggest moves you see in the market each week, when you have a 200, 300, 400 pip move, usually it's in the direction of the long-term signal. So I hate to bet against those because those are the biggest moves that are coming, right? So we've kind of, there's a little bit of a tendency to lean towards the long-term signal when in doubt. Yeah, and the crowded market. Exactly. Yeah, long-term and crowded market. We lean towards that a little bit more because of the sheer those big moves you're talking about. Yeah. So if you can get the shift to agree with the long-term signal, there's a really good chance that trade's going to work out this week. Put a little more stock in that trade for sure. Okay, so this is the Euro Aussie. We are going to sell at 1.62357. We'll take profits at 1.60735 and we'll stop out at 1.62899. Okay. And let's go ahead and add that picture we took. Yeah, this Euro Aussie short sell limit 0.62357. And I'm just double checking my numbers here. Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll post that trade. I think that looks pretty good, guys. All right, well, I'm probably going to start wrapping up. This was a very productive webinar. We'll keep it a little bit shorter today, about 10 minutes shorter. Like I said, we got a lot of classes tonight, so we'll kind of focus on those classes tonight. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you for coming. As you prepare for Christmas, I know it's a challenge and appreciate the diligence and effort you guys are putting in right now. It will pay off in 2024. I'll make sure it helps pay off for you guys in 2024. So, all right, guys, well, have a fantastic rest of your morning, and we'll see you guys in the next webinar. Thanks for coming.